back and relax and lend Alchemy RPG your ear for a moment. Prepare yourselves for an experience like no other. Now in full Technicolor.
What is up, everybody? We'll be starting here in just a second. I just grabbed some water, got some coffee. Today we're going to be diving into designing the Psy Knight for Shadowdark. They don't have psionics yet, and it's one of my favorite things from 2nd edition, some of 3rd edition. Dreamscar Press made a really good psionic class book that came out that was big, large, and I mean, seriously, I guess in charge. I guess that's the words I'm going to use for that. That's right, I brought it out. But I'm playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, and I'm going to go back to a class I had been working on earlier this summer, or actually end of summer, which is the Psy Knight. And this is brought up because my favorite Marvel characters are Psylocke and Cable. So let's get settled in, grab your coffee this afternoon, whatever it is you have. We'll probably be on here till about 6:30 doing design work. We're going to go over some new things in news and what's on the horizon for EFP this month. You got it, Allie, from X-Men. Let's get over and start this up. I don't need this timer today. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Friday afternoon on one of my favorite days, Friday the 13th. I should be wearing my Jason shirt, shouldn't I? I kind of failed. You know what? I feel like you deserve the Jason shirt. I'll be right back. Figure we get it a little neon-y in here. Get ourselves that. Let's grab the appropriate hat for this beloved holiday that doesn't happen that often. We'll get our glam rock Jason on. A little bit of blood on the hat. How's everybody doing? Doing well? Last minute wardrobe change. Yeah, you got it, man. I feel like Friday the 13th doesn't happen enough that I don't have a proper reason to wear this all the time, or my Savini fucking mask that's here, or if you can see back in there, that's a COVID mask of Savini's. That one here, that one's a neon flasher. Forgot today was Friday the 13th, but our wonderful cast member Todd politely put up Happy the Friday the 13th in our Discord. So look, sometimes you gotta bring it. So how's everybody doing this afternoon? We all doing well? Hi Allie, hi Kyle. I don't think we'll have a serving hand today. She pinged me saying she's got to work this afternoon, but hey, she might be back later. Who knows? I'm assuming we'll get a few other people since we're doing Shadowdark design. They usually bring some people out of the woodwork. But yeah, I have been busy in the design minds. Let's just do a little chat here in the beginning. I worked on some of the watching paint dry cards. I'm hoping by next Wednesday, those will be transferred over to EFP Live. And you guys will be able to use the cards you already have from it to kind of like ask questions and do fun things. I'm going to add some new ones in there as well. I'm going to have one called Story Time, where I have to create a 5-minute explanation for a new adventure that I will clip and put out for Story Time or Adventure Time. I don't know which one we'll call it yet. I hate to use Adventure Time and get some sauce from people, you know, that are Adventure Time fans. But I've been busy. Last night we did our first Living ETHUANTIA game. It went really well. I explained how the Streamloot cards worked last night to everybody. We went through the rules, and they did their first Dreadful, which is what we named Adventures for ETHUANTIA, based after the old Penny Dreadfuls. We have another one coming up that's full. We filled our next slot for, what is that? Dead Water, which is the 14th, I believe. So that's Saturday. And that one is Win Coraline, a title maiden of the Hand of Water, left a note at your door along with a blessed water from the true faith. In the note it says, I've been forced to go seek out a private investigator from outside my organization. While I wish to keep this quiet, I trust that the true Father has given me the voice to speak against injustice I've witnessed for the last 10 years before I leave for Cadra. And we're going to be picking up there. It's a Dreadful that I made using my Dreadful tables. I showed those off the other week, but basically I'm designing a way to create adventures for ETHUANTIA, for new GMs or on-the-fly GMs, or even people who just want to create fun, interesting adventures using some random tables and inspiration. So I've been filling that out. The Dreadful guide creation went really well. I've done 4 versions of that. And then next Wednesday, we will roll up the next series of adventures. We have one game on Tuesday this week. If Tuesday doesn't get any people, I'm going to swap over Tuesdays to either Saturdays or Sundays to keep people... it seems to be better days for them. I thought Tuesdays might work because that's our live show usually, but it doesn't seem like that time slot works for people. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about some news in tabletop. Gentlemen put on an 18-minute video. We're not going to watch the whole thing because 18 minutes. But something happened in tabletop 2 days ago. I had some friends who'd probably really love to see it. There's D&D and NFTs having some problems. And then we have Satine Phoenix and then Arcanum. Arcadium. I wasn't expecting this one. I know there was some drama with him before that I personally believe was personal issues and that shouldn't have been public. I don't think that people should have to be drawn out and quartered in public view. I mean, we got rid of the guillotine for a fucking reason, but yet we socially do it all the time. His family should have drawn him out. His wife or girl, whoever the fuck it was, should have drawn him out, but Should have been everybody. So let's go over to the table. We'll take a look at this. I don't want to watch the whole thing. I haven't looked at it yet, but I figure we can get a few good clips out of it, and then we're going to start designing our Psy Night, letting some people get in here. So let's go over to the other side. All right, Chrome. I know you're going to make me re-add you in here, since you never remember the web page that I want you to look at, because you're sassy like that, I guess. Let me see here. We want Chrome. So what happened? Okay. Yeah, this is the one. So what happened? What happened? I've never seen this gentleman before. Crispy's Tavern is new to me, and it shouldn't be. This guy's got 76 fucking K. This shouldn't be new to me, but I've never seen him before. Let me organize the dreaded frame a little bit. Do 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 do. I'm fine with the scroll bar being here. So I haven't seen this. So I'm going to start at the beginning. Don't be surprised if I skipped around a little bit.
A lot of influencers come and go, many of which
How bad
wonderful
is audio for you all?
Report. However,
Too loud? Good?
Weren't so wonderful.
That's not too bad. I can talk over it. That's what matters.
A little bit different. This is not a tabletop tavern tips video. This is kind of like an abridged version of my old solo podcast.
I like his
which is a series I'm
Plague
hoping
Doctor.
to do more. But back when I did solo episodes of that show, I would sometimes do little reports on some of the more problematic figures in the TTRPG.
Let's go to here.
Okay, first off, I know a lot of people don't know what this project is at all, but I talked about it.
Bit quiet?
I think Gizmodo made like a single
Better for
article about it. And
He's a little
that's
quiet
about
too.
it. But it is something that I know gets the blood pumping in a lot of people, and that is Dungeons and Dragons NFTs. Yeah, D&D actually did come to Web3. D&D on the blockchain. And it came in the form of a project known as The Glimmering, run by the company known as Gripner.
We just watched Ubisoft make an NFT game and sell a NFT for, fuck man, I want to say it was like $63,000 for a character. The whole thing tanked, right? We've also seen all the controversy wrapped around Ubisoft and what they do. And I'm using that as a bigger audience than we get in tabletop, right? Like legitimate. Let me scoot over a little bit here. Bigger audience than we get in tabletop. And why tabletop keeps putting its own boot in its own mouth and doing like NFTs like this. The tabletop market doesn't even like AI generated art, AI generated text. It doesn't like when you don't give authors or writers their well-earned dessert and putting them in their books. What makes you think that an NFT is the right fucking idea? Like, what? And if it's a different company doing it, still in the tabletop space, why? Why would you do that? It doesn't.
At the time, I reported this project would be a disaster. Frankly, I don't need to go over the reasons, but NFTs are not.
No, you don't. It's dumb.
They're seen as overpriced commodities for tech bros to gamble on, while their servers destroy the environment around them.
They're bad versions of Garbage Pail Kids. Remember those old stickers and cards you collect? Or Pogs? At least those serve a fucking purpose.
It's bad. And D&D NFTs, well, a lot of people in the D&D world were not exactly welcoming to that Web3 mentality.
No.
So, like I said earlier, this project was likely doomed from the get-go.
Correct.
Especially since even successful NFT projects tend to fizzle out even after only a couple of months.
Yeah, they always die.
What happened after the Glimmering release? Did it end up being the big flop I predicted? Well, kind of. They minted their NFT collection, and while...
What the fuck is the Glimmering? Hold on here. We're gonna do a little research ourselves instead of just listening to somebody. Glimmering NFT The Glimmering. Let's put this over here. Where heroes become legends, The Glimmering is a new organized 5e campaign for tabletop gamers around the world. Go fuck yourself. The future of tabletop is here. Not really. Gripner introduces a new organized system for tabletop RPGs, beginning with our first 5e campaign, The Glimmering. Whether you're a noob or a seasoned pro, The Glimmering has an adventure waiting for you. Buy a playable hero, find a game, fight your way through adventures, win treasure, and level up as you explore the world of Asana. Asana? Asawa? Asawa? Fuck, I don't know. And the Moonstone Empire. Best of all, your game outcomes and progress are recorded on the blockchain. Why? Let's watch this trailer. Let's see. Does your website work? Giving you the D? Did they say that? They said that.
Beginning March 30th, mint your digital collectible from our Genesis collection of playable characters. And start kicking ass at play.gripner.com. Search the hall for a table with...
Yeah, bro. Get your game, bro. Get your NFT, bro. Come on, man. I love that dude. I didn't know he was involved in this. Oh, homie. Homie. McFarlane, buddy, I love your work. How did you get drawn into this? Pay must have been good, man. I mean, I guess get your dollar bills. Oh, look, I guess the thing that is odd to me about this is you're paying for your character, so you don't even get to make your own, which is half the love to me is making your own character. Like, I'll play a pre-gen at I'll play a pre-gen at a con, right? I like a good pre-gen at a convention. If I'm sitting down to play a game, like, why am I going to mint an NFT? And they're not even minting NFTs that would have value, if you know what I mean. Like, you're not doing Dristuorden, Tensor, Mordenkainen, Vecna, Brunner Battlehammer, Catabree, Elminster. If you're going to play the Fallen version of Bane for Forgotten Realms, none of that stuff is being done. You're making your own NFTs for things that have no value to the audience. That seems really, really weird to me. Bad. It's a bad decision. That is a bad decision. That's a bad decision with bad purpose, with a horrible solution, where you're going to buy your character to play in a game. You should be able to make your own. Like, I would even understand if you could make your own and the NFTs were like gear and weapons. I would 100% understand that as a collective way to do it. I may even try that. I mean, I buy skins in video games and stuff like that. It's just weird choice to make it characters. Really weird. Really weird choice. So this is their play the game. The art's really cool, though. I did not see this, man. You level up. I guess you build them with leveling up. This is weird. And that guy, Stephen Randy McFarlane, whom I'm a fan of. I love his work. He just said he's signing off of all social media for a while. And I'm kind of wondering if there's something that happened because of this. Steven, if you see this later, I hope you're okay, buddy. Like, your work is amazing. So I hope that it clears up and you don't have to deal with this crap. If this is what it's involved around, which is, that'd be my guess without personally talking to you at all. Lore. I like the webpage, though. Map is cool. Look at the map. All the art's gorgeous. What's the team? Let's see who's involved here. Okay. President. That guy looks familiar. Where do I know him from? .com, bro. .com, bro. Okay. I know her. I'm passing. I mean, he's great. He's a great game designer. I know Angry Blue in passing. I know that. John. I know him. Huh. Man. All right, back to this.
I don't have access to the exact profits. I think it's rather telling that their brand has seemingly pivoted away from the messaging around Web3 and NFTs.
Yeah.
However, despite the Web3 talk seemingly being toned down in basically all their branding to avoid the backlash of it, their website is still
It is branding.
open. Now,
It is branding.
it successful and active? Well, that's a different story.
It's the same reason. Branding is the same reason that D&D is D&D 2020, D&D 5e 2024, not 6th edition. They didn't want to have to rebrand their game. Same reason that they are pulling away from Web3 for Glimmering is the same reason that D&D kept that whole idea of you're still playing D&D 5e that you love, but it's the 2024 edition, like it's a fucking Encyclopedia Britannica. For those who know. You know what I'm talking about.
Glimmering wasn't just an NFT collection. Their idea was that you buy these NFTs that are minted on the blockchain, and you use these generated NFT characters to play on their website. They create a whole online framework for game masters.
That's kind of
find
cool.
Players so they can play together in their ecosystem, possibly using their adventures, which were also published on places like.
I didn't know they were doing adventure stuff. So, like, some of the back end of this I like is as a person who loves organized play to get people in gaming. Like, I understand. Like, they're not able to sell their adventures, so they have to sell the product they're making. I don't understand. Don't use NFTs, man. Just make like buyable something else. Like that word scares people because it doesn't make fucking sense.
Like Roll20. There's also free material that you can download right off their website. And you know what? All of these things were delivered on. Their adventures are up. They were released.
Okay.
You can get them. Are they good? The free material didn't blow me away, but it's nothing horrific. The NFTs are no longer called NFTs. They're just called heroes. And you can buy them for relative.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay. I want to know on the back end if you are trading these heroes for money. You know what I mean? Like, are you buying them and going to a table and trading them? Huh. That's kind of cool. It'd be better if they were a physical product. If it was a card game, I think people could wrap their heads around this if it's a card game.
Relatively cheap prices because, well, it's not like they exploded in value anywhere. And the LFG is up. You can find games, though the community is not exactly thriving. The last time I was there, there were 2 pages of games.
That's still decent.
For players, and the vast majority of them had 0 players in the lineup, which that's rough.
Painful.
However,
that sucks. I feel bad for that part.
I despise the very foundations of the project to its very core. I have to give them credit. The bulk of their promises were fulfilled. You can buy characters and you can play.
Okay, great.
Good, or that you'd want to play.
All right, let's see.
How I haven't thought about you in a long time.
This girl.
If you have no idea who Satine Phoenix is, don't blame you. Satine Phoenix was a common collaborator on.
This girl, I gave the benefit of the doubt to too many times working for companies, and she shit the bed in any project I was involved in or any project that my friends were involved in. And it, face to face, she's a very nice person. I don't know how all of this drama llama shit and how she got roped into this happened. I'm going to have my opinions, but fuck me. What did she do now?
Many of the D&D world's biggest platforms. She was on Critical Role.
Everywhere.
She was on Dimension 20, working with Matt Mercer and Bradley Mulligan. She ran games on the official Dungeons & Dragons YouTube channel. Worked with
she was their community manager.
Space. She ran luxury D&D games through
her
website Satine's Quest and had frequent convention appearances. She also had a very successful Kickstarter called Sirens, Battle of the Bards, where she had plenty of big collaborators.
Someone I know who worked on this has told me a lot of the inside scoop on this, and I'm not going to spill dirt, but let's just say everything you've heard about the bad stuff, I don't know if any of it was wrong.
that got her good funding.
At all.
$300,000. Well, okay, almost $300,000. I'm rounding up here for the sake of simplicity.
All right, so I know all this.
Being bombarded with allegations from the people they worked with. It was
Oh, yeah.
people who worked on her live stream appearances, like Champions of the Realm.
She got
People who
buried.
worked on her big appearances.
She got
like
buried, and then you know what she went and did? She went and decided she was going to be a fitness instructor. Just cycling through those fucking careers, man.
Sateen's Quest, the luxury D&D games. People who worked on the Battle of the Bards book. It was even people who just, like, pulled her bags during a convention. How do you create a toxic workplace when you're just a convention guest in a hotel room?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
damn. Take some doing. And Satine did an Instagram live apology.
Oh, yeah,
Smarter
this.
than Satine.
Well, on
But
here.
at least she did not
This fucking bullshit. The fucking Tears for Fears fucking crying.
pull out any ukuleles.
No ukulele, she should
The
have.
backers are not entirely happy. It seems nothing has happened since. And to say
Yeah.
the least, the backers are not entirely
Yeah, and it makes the team look bad, and
It
it's not
seems
the
that further
team's
problems
fault.
have arisen with the fact that Apotheosis Games, the brand that's supposedly writing the book and editing the book, etc., they are seemingly defunct.
They're
Their
defunct.
website is
I was just going to say that.
gone, the
Yep,
license
they took it all
is
down.
quite a crowd
They hit everything.
Compared to everyone else
But another company picked up and is delivering on some of the stuff that they said they were going to do, which is fucking
on
great.
this list, Satine actually has the largest social media presence. Takes a lot of strength to do that, and I'm glad that she's
Fuck, I don't want to hear anything else about her. So this guy, he was doing really cool shit.
had
Really
a very
cool shit.
sudden rise to fame.
He blew
thanks to
up.
a very, very popular campaign on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
This guy knew how to network. I mean, as a
He's
dude
good.
who worked in that sort of field, I gotta respect it. He had some contacts with some pretty big people on Twitch.
His hustle
People
was
like
hard.
Hellcat, people like Charlie from Moist Critical. People
Yep.
like Iron Mouse, who was recently crowned
Yeah.
the top most subscribed channel on the entire platform.
Iron Mouse is
that's
crushing
the
Twitch
kind of
right now.
person
Crushing
that
it.
Arcadum was networking with. The kind of
Yep.
person he had in his
As he was like their private GM for stuff, man.
he was very successful on
Yeah.
the fast track to become the premier dungeon master
Well,
of Twitch.
Ow.
However,
Okay, numbers
went
wise.
downhill when he ran a game for a group of VTubers. Not crapping on the VTubers, they seem like lovely people. It's what he did to those VTubers that's the problem.
Is this what happened?
This game had people like Momo and Iron Mouse. They were relatively new to the TTRPG world and they were excited to play with Arcadum, but he was a kind of stressful dungeon master. It got so bad
I mean,
that
yeah.
players actually met up before the game to like kind of calm each other down because Arcadum put a lot of pressure on them to be like really good at the game, to be better
Oh.
than they were when
Hold on a minute. This guy got canceled for raising his bar higher than the people who were playing. Like, okay, shit happens. So far this doesn't sound like pile-on worthy.
they were new. And on top of that, they were already under a lot of pressure because they're playing in front of thousands of people. The vast majority of us do not need to
Behind an avatar.
have our first D&D experience in front of a live audience.
Did you ever notice that, does anyone remember, like I'm old, the old internet, it was really like Second Life. Someone was talking about that. It might have been Asmongold to mention this. But basically, old internet was a faceless entity where people went to escape. As Web 2.0 happened and social media picked up, everyone started using their real names, everyone was trackable, more stuff happened. And I feel like VTubers are kind of trying to bring back that anonymity that is missing in the internet to a point.
Thank God.
But
And you can only
irresponsibleness comes with
imagine
that.
how
Can
annoyed
come
you would
with
be to have your
anonymity
dungeon
as
master
well.
constantly pressuring you on top of the pressure from the live.
Okay, great.
audience.
What happened?
Same situation. Look, this guy can't even tell the truth about his damn marital status.
I don't care about his marital status.
Audience. Oh right, he also came back to Twitter to defend Dr. Disrespect of all people. Really?
Oh no. I mean, just don't leave your dick in it.
How easy. Any of our content as it comes out. And
Well, that is, I mean, I'll thumbs up this guy. I've never seen Crispy's Tavern. I'll give him a follow. I've not seen his stuff before. That's a pretty good coverage of what's going on. Not why we are here today. So a little drama llama out of the way. I wanted to watch this. I didn't have time before air. So it's the things I thought. I always expect something better. than what I saw, but it wasn't. So let me go over to Mem here. I'm gonna pull up my Shadowdark. Was it Breachers? These are Breachers classes that I was designing. Let me pull this up. That's the setting. Breachers. Huh. Okay, let me write chef in. Dungeon chef was one of the classes I was doing. Let's get the music back going. You're not going to pull it for me? Real slow load today, everybody. I'm pulling up the file, and it's just playing pretend. There we go. There we go. So the Lancer is in here, and I finished the Lancer. And I also have the Cyanite in here, where I just started writing everything out. So let's go over to this, take a look. I'm going to turn this down, so it's not blowing our ears out. Allie, if you're still here, we're going to start our Cyanite, because I know you're interested. Let me pull up the thing. So this is, I copied everything over. I started building them, and I realized that, like, when I upgraded to web, or not to 2, but to Mem 2, it unbolded and fucked everything up. And I had to go through and, like, fix these docs every fucking time. Now, granted, I like the new second edition, or second version better. Just fucked a bunch of stuff up. So I've been doing a lot of design work for another group, and I just got done doing 2 new classes. And I was like, man, I really like designing classes for Shadowdark. They're really fun to do. I feel like they're bite-sized and digestible to design. Like, you can spend an afternoon designing them, finish, and then polish it up over some gameplay, and you feel like you did something, because they're so easy to kind of put together and play with. Perfecting them is a little harder, right? So I have powers by tier. This is their spell thing. And you can see, like, it didn't keep everything here. All right? Like, all this stuff's fucked up. All of this is fucked up. But I can do tables now in here. And I wanted to come back here and look at it, but I'm going to move it over to Canva. I want to try doing a Shadowdark layout in Canva, just to see how it turns out for a true A5. I fought with Photoshop so much the last 2 days that I'm fucking over it. Over it. Like, god damn it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Let me get Flow Launcher going. Let's do Acrobat. I want to get Shadowdark open. Oh, great. What? Install Adobe Acrobat. You must restart your system before using Adobe Acrobat. No. I have to restart my fucking computer to use fucking Acrobat? No. I refuse. Blow me. I ain't doing that. I don't give a fuck. Allie, I hate Adobe. I officially hate Adobe. I'm so over them, I can't even explain it. I can't. Fucking suck me. I fucking hate them. They've just screwed up my life so much the last, like, 6 months. Let's set this up. View. I don't think I've talked to anyone recently who was like, oh yeah, man, Adobe's been treating me good. Been feeding me. Been treating me great. I love it. It's fantastic. I haven't heard a single person fucking say that in the last God knows how fucking long. All right. So we have that there. Let's grab our book version as well. So I have a copy in front of me in case I need to have 2 things open at once. And then let's also pull up our Can move this over here. Let's also pull up our mem doc as well. And let's go through this and make sure like our classes match the layout format for this. Let me go home here. I probably should pull up one of the other classes, because some of the other classes are more detailed in the scrolls. Like they added, the curse scrolls added a lot. Let's open up Red Sands and this one as well. These added a ton to their classes. They're a little more detailed. They have a lot of new spells in them, all that kind of stuff. I love these curse scrolls. I think they're great. They feel so fucking retro. And I have the physical copies of all of these. So let's go down to the classes in here real quick. What do we got? Desert Rider, I think, is the first one. So black bar at the top, pick your font, quick description, weapons, armor, hit points, ability. That's a big ability. Your stuff that you roll, art on the second page for this one. And then we go into Pit Fighter, one page as well, art. And then the Raz Goda class. This is a big class. This is probably the most detailed class I know about. Because it is an assassin. It has a weapons, armor, hit points, language. It has assassin, smoke step, and Black Lotus. And Black Lotus, you have your talents on this table, and then you have your Black Lotus D12 table. It's pretty fucking cool. Like, this is some detail in here compared to other ones. And basically, there are special abilities that make you a different assassin than other ones. So for us, let's get rid of the PDF. We have a class here to do. I'm going to put this over. And you can see I've already started doing all of my writing for like spells and stuff. God, I'm so mad that this shit all fucked up. Like literally fucked up. Like I already started making spells. I started going through everything, getting them all, and some stayed and some didn't. I don't know what caused this, because you used Markdown originally. Oops, I didn't do that. So let's just add them, bold them. We're going to get these few spells. I didn't do them all. I made a few. I put down simple ideas, and then that's it. That's all I did. Didn't do the verbiage properly or anything. This table's going to need to be redone. Basically, I wanted them to have spells, but they're psionic powers. And the thing I've been contemplating is, how do I make psionics different than the rest of the classes and abilities in Shadowdark, but don't make them too complex? The problem we ran into in 2nd edition is that your psionics had like id and ego and like roll-offs between one another. And it was really like, I wonder if I can find 2nd edition. Hold on here. AD and D psionics. Just curious. Internet Archive might have it because it's old. Yeah, it does. It does. Okay. So look at this book. It's an old 2nd edition complete psionics guide. It's big. Can I just figure? Yeah, I can't. So this is all rewritten. And it was really fucking difficult. I don't like that this doesn't have any of the art in it. But yeah, here, look at the defense modes on this thing. So the way this worked... Oh, fuck, I fucked that up. How do I zoom? There we go. So you got your level, your discipline, your total sciences, your total devotions, and your total defense modes. So you had like a discipline that you were good at. I think that was like telekinesis, stuff like that. Your sciences that you knew. You had a devotion, which you were specialized in. And then you had your defense mode between like id, ego, and all that stuff. Like really deep into it. And it was cool, but it was psionic points. You use points. And it just was a pain in the ass to do any of it. Now, thinking about this, I was going through. I was like, how do I make a class for Shadowdark that has some of the love I had for this? Like, I loved some of the stuff back in the day that was involved with this. I think they made something really special. A little too complex, but special. And I want to know, how do I bring this to bear for Shadowdark? So, look at all these abilities, dude. This is nuts. So, power descriptions. So, they had different categories. They had clairsentience, sentience. Those are the sciences behind it. The different powers behind it. And, I mean, there was a lot. And then you get to the next category after the sciences. Then you have psychokinesis, which is probably more the science behind Psynites, psychokinesis. Because it's like detonating people, disintegrate, molecular rearrangement, project force, telekinesis. Then they have telekinetic devotions, which is like animating objects, animate shadow, ballistic attack, control body, control flames, control light, control sound, control wind, control sound, create sound. Inertial barrier. This power was wild. And we won't go through the stats, but it's 89. So here, specifically, the barrier helps protect against the following: by absorbing some or all, or with luck, all of potential damage. Any non-magical missile, any physical missile, which was created with magic, any missile with magical pulses, flames, some breath weapon attacks, depending on the nature of the breath. The acid comes from above because it just drips on the character, so that won't work. Gas, the barrier turns it aside, and at least partially, depending on the defender's die roll, and then will eventually work its way inside and take full effect. Like, look at these. This is just insanity. Then you got like levitation, which is a split block, which is whoever redid this, that doesn't work. So there's a lot of stuff in here that I really enjoyed. Like, I used to use this all the time. Psychometabolism, complete healing, animal affinity. It's like all like reminds me of Animal Man from DC Comics a little bit. Just all this stuff that just changes who you are, and you can make some really interesting characters. But if the person didn't know the rules well enough, and if it was Psy versus Psy battle, it was almost as bad as decking in 2020 Cyberpunk or old Shadowrun. Literally, AD&D Psionics felt like you needed to go get pizza and leave those two to fight each other for a while as they figured out what the fuck they were doing. It was fun for the participants. So I don't want that, but I want some of the nostalgia. That's what I'm looking to grab and bring into this, is nostalgia. So right now, let's look over the Psy-Knight. Do I have this? Oh fuck, I have this the wrong way. God damn it. Let me resize this. Can we just, is there a swap button? I'm just gonna put it vertical. And then sure, copy and redesign. I'm gonna resize this. I had it the wrong way. I think. Maybe it didn't. Copied and redesigned. Open designs. Continue editing. Well, how the fuck did I do this wrong? I'm doing an A5 version. 8.2. Oh, you know what? They expect you to do a page split. Because it is 8.25 by 8.27 by 5.83. And this one is probably vertical. Because it's 8.25, which is, I don't know, that might be the size of this actually. Maybe I'm fucking it up. Maybe I was right. Hold on here. Ooh, did I just bend that? Hope not. I'm gonna do a measure. Yeah, okay. I'm just a dumbass. It's right. I just had it the wrong way. Okay. Done. 'Cause I don't want the pages side by side. I want them vertical like this. So we're gonna design one in here. I'm gonna carry all this stuff in. We've designed a lot of it here, and we're gonna duplicate the style found in the Shadowdark book, but add our own flavor to it. If you haven't seen the other work I did let me go down to Choice of Life. In Choice of Life, I made I think this is the final. I made my, scroll down, my Lancer. And my Lancer is like a little package, and I'm probably going to do the same thing. I could just copy this over and redo the colors on it. I really like this look. I even built a tracker too after I was done with everything to help with everything. A one-sheet print, a timer printout. I don't know, man. Do I just do it in black and white? I'm curious if other people like the non-black and white stuff. Like, I love adding color to it. I don't know, Nick. Nick, if you're listening in the background, what do you think about doing color Shadowdark stuff? Do you think that that's a bad idea? If you are here, or if you hear this later, leave a comment down below. Like, I play a lot of Shadowdark, and all their stuff is this look. You know, the black and white. Like, there's no color in here. Like, the only color on here is on the title pages. I do like the nostalgia. I really do. Not nostalgia. The clean look of the black and white. Well, fuck it. We'll fucking do both. Who gives a shit? So, let's get this done. I'm going to do this. We're going to do a black bar. We're just going to build it all in here. I'm going to say, if it's a Cyanite, I want energy. An energy banner? I'm just going to do banners. Banner. Let's see if we like any of this. Let's do... When I think psionics, I think brain. I think brain waves. But I want to see night. I'm thinking a knight. Maybe at the end, I'll do some accoutrement for being a knight. And I think a Psylocke every time. Ooh, what if we did a pawn piece for the two ends? I'm not opposed to this. I go like this. Right? And flip this. What do you think? And then put the black banner in between? I mean, it could look cool. I like the rook too. So let's do that. Let's let's just do a rectangle. I think it's R. This has got to be black as well. Let's bring it up. I'm afraid if it's behind it, I'm going to run into a color issue. How big of an area does the PDF do? Let me get rid of this PDF. How big of an area does it's a big fucking bold banner at the top. That bitch is like this. Which means these will need to be like that. So let's just increase the size of these together, and then I'll move the other one back up there. I don't like that you can't see the white line behind it. That the black cuts it, you know what I mean? You can bring it in. I mean, I can make this in Photoshop. If Photoshop ran. Let me try putting it behind it. Yeah, that was my fear. So, there's a way around this. I'm going to grab these. We are going to edit them. We're going to edit them. I'm going to add an outline to them in white to fill that gap. And it doesn't need to be big, just enough to cover it. Right? And then we're going to copy this style and then paste it to this one. Problem solved. Now there's one on each end. Ooh, that might be a little too Greek mythology looking. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it for now. Text. We're going to do cyanite. We know this is going to be in white. Move it up. Center it. Really want quick keys for that stuff. And now let's find a quick font that we like. We want something kind of rugged looking. I'm gonna type in night and just see what we get. I like looking to see if they have, and now they don't have anything. Medieval, maybe? Maybe a medieval font. Ooh! I almost like that out of the gate, everybody. What do you think? It's not quite this, because I don't want it to be identical. I want it to fit the style of the book. I kind of like this. I mean, I probably could just do it in that style. The question always comes down to, do you want people to print this and add it to their collection, or do you want it to be their own? And I always feel like I want my stuff to be its own. I don't really like, I mean, I could duplicate a style. I think most artists probably can. I like that though. Let's just check a couple others. Never mind, we're done. That's the one we're using. In your fucking face. Look at that. This needs to be grungy then, man. I can't even use this. Whoa. Ooh. This might be one that I'm going to have to bring into an app and make. But I dig this look. I wish it had... or this look. I wish these had two tones to them. I like the ones that have two, where you get to color the outline and this. Because otherwise, you're always editing these and dropping a outline on them in white. And it pushes them in a really odd fucking way. I actually don't enjoy the look when you do this, because it puts an outline around it. I don't want a fucking outline. You know what I mean? But damn. I almost like this even more with a brain kind of look. Yeah, fuck these things. Those are fucking gone. Maybe a brain inside of that for the cyanide? That'd be kind of cool. That would be actually really cool. This is one of those ones that I'd probably take into a new app and finish the design for it. Let's try gritty. I want like a weird grunge brain. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Like that. This might get used later. Is this colorable? I do it in white? Is that it does change it. Let's check this out, everyone. Layout inspires me to when I'm making stuff. I kind of dig that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of dig that. I think I have this the wrong way, though. I think it's that way, isn't it? Right? Frontal lobe? Am I doing that wrong? Hold on here. Profile brain. Drawn these enough. Profile of brain. No, I had it right the first time. So this goes here. Like that. It would need to be so much larger, though, to really sell it. I like that. That's not bad. So let me grab this, shift it back, cut it, paste it. We're going to go over here with it. Now let's put this other one here. I'm going to flip it again. I'm going to put this one here. And we'll put it back behind it. Okay. That's not bad. It really isn't. I feel like if I take that out and group these, I almost wonder. This usually goes all the way across the page, which I do like that part of it. Oops, fuck. So let's actually do that. And I think I want to add a banner up there that's got a little style to it, but I don't hate this. Let me do a ink banner. Let's do a banner. I want to see if they have the long triangle ones, or a banner that feels a little more knightly. You know what I'm saying? Like a knight banner. Like these, sort of. I love these. Fuck. Let's try another grunge. I'm gonna do grunge. I love grunge stuff, man. I don't know why. Like this around it would be kind of cool. Sort of. Has a cyanide feel to it to me. Ooh. Ooh. Can this be expanded? Fuck, how do I gonna do that? I'd have to go like this. Probably have to push it behind it. And if I paste it and put it over here, and then push it behind it. Right? like this and make it line up. That gives us a little bit of that grungy feel to it. I don't hate this. You know what this reminds me of? This has got a Dark Souls vibe. Let's do a little arranging here. Let's how do I want to do this? Center them. I'm gonna move these so I can just fuck with this. I feel like I need like a grunge swath. A grunge line, maybe. Cyanite? Ooh, baby. We're already getting there. We're already getting there. I dig that a lot. Do I do it off the bottom too? Do I center? I don't hate this. I do not hate this. If we put this to the edge, it needs to go like that. And that needs to be the same. And then we can put these here if we decide we want them. Which I kind of like them. Actually, I'm just going to delete this one. And I'm going to copy and paste this one. And we'll flip it. And we'll decide. We may not keep those. We may ditch it. I don't know how much I love this. Right? Let's ungroup it. Undo it. Flip it. Oh, did I fuck this up again? Kind of fucked this up again somehow. Trying to make it the same size as the inside of the skull. I know I'm being a picky bitch about it. But I want I want it to feel right. Let's just delete this one again. Okay. So let's copy these. Copy paste. Move them to here. Let's flip this one. Move it, click it, do this, and then flip this one. Move it, click it, undo it, group it. There we go. I know there's other ways to do it, but I'm just... That's how my brain's functioning right now. I want the front of the neck, like the cowl, to be on the corner of the book area. All right, so that's cyanite. We're done. We're done. We're not doing anything else. We finished. We completed our sermon. No, I'm kidding. So let's get a column in here. I think there's a way to do text block. In frames. Is it frames you can write in? I don't fucking remember anymore, man. Let's grab a text to write in. We're going to do a body text. We're going to keep it at 16. We are going to move it to here. 16 is too big. I probably actually 12 is probably a better gambit. How many lines across do we get here at the PDF? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, roughly. That looks like font size 12 to me, zoomed in. I'm not going to do Canva. I'm going to do Nodo. Thank you to Nick for pointing out this amazing font. Done. I kind of want it bolded. Ooh, I just want Nodo Sans traditionally. I like book. If they had a book version, I'm a big fan of Nodo. I uploaded all of them, by the way. They weren't all in here. I've downloaded them all and added them. I think we're just gonna go with this. No serif. Easier to read. All right. Now, I'm gonna go get some Ipsum. Night Ipsum. Ipsum is filler font, essentially. Ipsum generator. I just want something where I can put text blocks in and then go back in and fill them myself. Game of Thrones? Alright, let's do, sure. We're gonna use this, everybody. Boop. Right? Like that. How much of a gap do we have in the PDF? We're gonna do a little fucking checky check here. I'm gonna zoom out. Rulers. So it's about 0.5. Is it half inch and half inch? Yeah, half inch and half inch is what that looks like. A Control R, if you don't know, in Adobe programs almost always pull up a ruler. So we'll get rid of the PDF. Let's see what we get here. So I want to see what my guides are here, and then we're going to start bringing everything over. File, settings, and show guides and rulers, show margins. Is there a way to... Hold on a minute. Reduce motion, show rulers, add guides. All right, so now we have our guides in place so we can see a little bit better. I think this is half an inch. That looks like a full inch. I want half inch edging. And that's half inch. And then we need our... Why is our guides not showing? I turned them on. Settings. Show rules. Got Control R. That's reloads. Fuck. Oh, Shift R. I'm a dumb fuck. Shift R. Of course it can't be Control R because that's refresh, everybody. It's refresh. Add guides. Oh, here we go. I like the 12 column. 3 column formatting doesn't work. We can do custom. I think 2 column formatting is really what we're looking for to start. The gap and a margin of 0.5. Right? Columns. We don't need rows at all. How big of a gap do I think that is? That looks like 0.5, so 0.25 maybe? I'm guessing it's 1/4 of an inch. Roughly. That's 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch would be there. Ow. This bashed my fucking elbow. And then why the gap? Why does this keep doing this? I'm at. Please add the guides. 2 columns, 0.5, margin, 0.5. Add guides. You've reached the limit of margins. Try reducing columns or gaps. Clear them all. Clear all of them. Let's try this again. Settings. Add guides. 2 columns. 2.5. 0.5. Add. There we go. That's 1/2 inch. I guess it is. Man, I don't know how she designed in that margin. Well, obviously this cannot fucking be this size. This is going to have to go down. We're also going to change the line spacing. I want a little more. Is that right? Is that fucking seriously? That seems really off. It seems like this ruler is wrong. See what I'm saying? Like the 0 is in the wrong. Oh, there's 0. That's the print margin. Oh, I see. That's their bleed line for cuts. She's not using that. So really, this should be here. At point. So 0. Well, that's cool. At the top, they give you an actual readout. Most fucking things don't. Can I even type this? Oh, you can't. Huh. Settings. Do not lock guides. So if that's 0, this is a 1/4 inch. We should have another 1/4 inch out. Can I type this? Oh, you can't fucking type it. Now that's annoying to me. Because I don't want 0.26. I want... Let's go back into here. This is important to get set up the first time, or you're going to be fucking with it forever. Forever. Let's do this again. If we... Maybe we just do 12. Then add them. Then bring this in. And we don't want to be a 1/4 inch off the page. We want to be 1/2. This is the center. That gutter is too large, though. Or too small, I mean. About like that, maybe? Cut it. Paste it. Do equal. Bring it down. Bring it down. All right, there we go. So that's a pretty good rough layout. And when we're doing this, We know we have to do a body text, our weapons text, our armor. Look at the gap, man. This is brave. This is brave negative space use. Maybe I'll space mine out some more. Braver than I would like to be, for sure. About there, maybe. Because the black that bleeds down. All right, so let's start bringing it over. So I put Lancer here, right? And that's because I didn't know what the Psy Knight was going to be yet. So we need to write our Psy Knight text. But for now, because I know that spacing worked, I'm going to select it. I'm going to paste it in here. And look how fucking big that is, though. I'm going to have to shorten this text some. This is too much. This is too much text for this. Look at this. It's too much text. See what I mean? I feel like I need to lessen this. That's a Lancer. This is about the Lancers, not a Knight. So a Psy Knight. How do they write? Let's see how they wrote their new one. I'm curious what they wrote when they've left and went to a new book. Because I feel like you change the things you're going to write as you start producing more product. Black-clad assassins who train from childhood inside a hidden desert monastery. They gain their sorcerer's powers from a legendary black lotus flower that was given to them by a demon. How would I word the Psy Knight? I'm just going to cut this down and just put a brief one that we'll rewrite. Trained in body and mind. The Psy Knight sees their body and minds. Psy Knight is perfection of training and war. So they usually start with their like clad in black stuff. So I'll say donned in heavy plate with glass-like crystals, I'll say, probably crystals. Heavy plate adorned in Psy crystals, Psy gems to empower their abilities. A Psy Knight is trained in body and mind. Trained in body and mind. Trained in body and mind. A perfect. I don't know. I don't want to say perfection of training in war. The perfection of training in war. Yeah, I like that. One thing I don't like about doing the why justified is I feel like the gaps in it get sloppy, man. I like it on some stuff, and other ones I'm not a fan of how much spacing is between the letters. If we just do that one, but then that leaves big gaps. Train in the body. Trained in Maybe the art. The art of body and mind. The perfection. The perfection of war. Boom. Okay, so now we got our thing. I'm really thinking about replacing this with a D. So, like, if you go back into elements here, I kind of want, like, a knight, a medieval D. Medieval D. I had to say it. I had to say it. Show the results for medieval D. It says search for this. Medieval D. Fairy tale D. D? No, I don't like that either. I want the medieval. Let's put letter D. And I will put fantasy. The dragon's kind of cool looking. Evil? Ooh, that's kind of cool. How medieval that is, though. Aren't they called story block letters or something like that? If memory serves. I feel like that's the name. Am I wrong? I feel like it is story block. Let's see here. What is the name of the large first letter in a paragraph? I thought it was called story block or drop cap. Drop cap, that's what it is. Drop cap D. That's fucking cool looking too. A little grungier. Oh, that's different, man. I'm gonna put fantasy, maybe. Fantasy drop cap. Really feel like it should be a medieval font. That should have the, like, accoutrement to it. This is really close. Let me try that. Medieval drop caps. Drop cap letters. Maybe I'll find one that's good and I can just grab the... Yeah, like this shit. This is what we're looking for. Ooh, look at these. Those are dope. I like this. Is there one that's... Let's delete that. Let's put D. Look at that. Can you change the colors on this? No. Damn. Is this could be changed to black, I bet. You can do this. That's a pretty good... That's on the docket. I'm going to add a page below here. We are going to drag these down here. I don't like that one anymore. I like these two. Really like those two. Medieval drop cap letter D. Let's see all of these. Fuck these wreathy things. Nobody wants that. I like a lot of these. I really don't think I want the block, though. I really think I just want a letter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like this. And maybe that's too basic. But I really like this. It fits the style. You know, fuck, what does the capital D just look like in this? That might be our solution. If it's hot, we just use that. Oh, fuck. Fuck this. We just use this. Delete it. Space it. I don't know the last, I shouldn't say never. I don't know the last time I put a drop cap, or I used to call them title Ds, but I don't remember the last time I put one of these in. You know what I'm saying? Not space it? Well, I could do that one. But I can't. Might have to do an underline and white it. Like this might have to be white text so you don't see it. Yep. That's kind of cool looking. I dig it. All right. Let's go back over here. We need to do weapons, armor, hit points, and all that jazz. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to here so I can look at it and we can just work in here. Okay? Because it's going to be a bitch to go back and forth. So we know we have that. That's our writing. All right. So now we're going to start doing this. So we need weapons. It's all swords. That's what we're doing for them, right? So let's bold this. Boom. Let's hit enter. And then armor. Bold it. Armor. All armor and shields. So I see them wearing a lot of like bulky armor. I know that's not normal for psionics. It's a mental state. You can't use armor. I don't care. It's style. It's fucking style. Bold. We need hit points. I put D8 because they're a knight. But I've been looking through all the classes in Shadowdark. And what I've realized is the only things that have a D8 are like the big end warrior classes. Like if we go back into this PDF, right, and look at the ones from this scroll. Look at this. D6 per level. D8 per level is a pit fighter, right? D8 per level is a desert rider. If we go over to this Cursed Scrolls, the other one, this has got the class that Valraven was in it. So let's go down to the Night Idris class. 6, because he's got spells, which we will have spells similar to this. At least tentatively. D6 per level for the lock. I think the witch is a D4. So with that said, I feel like we can't really give it a D8 because it also gets all play. I think it's got to be a D6. I think it has to be D6. And they use lowercase d's. So per level. After that, we have mental defenses, right? And I think this is where we get into our abilities. I should put languages next, technically. So languages, bold, languages. Diabolic and Silver and Primordial. I'm going to say, what do we give them? I think you should just know 2 languages, right? Like pick 2. You know 2, or pick 2. Pick, man, do we do that? Or do we just give them short-range telekinesis instead for languages? Or telepathy? That would be kind of cool if they just had short-range telepathy as a language. That could break language barriers. Languages, I love languages in tabletop RPGs. Like, so let's talk about that for a little bit, actually, here. Languages in tabletop RPGs, to me, are process of knowing someone. If they don't have that language, it really helps with the fact that you can set up some cool interactions. I also know as soon as one person has that language, everything's out the window and they're just playing translator the whole time. But what I've realized is I don't use it as in like, well, you need to tell everybody. The way I usually have my players do it is if one person speaks it and they're translating for everybody else and there are roles required for translation, you're rolling with a penalty if you are speaking for the group because translation becomes a problem. Once you have 2 or 3 people speak the language, I throw that out the window. But I use it as like you have the language, you can talk to them. But if you're speaking with, them for the party, you're going to have some penalties because there's just no way that if one person's translating everything, it ever goes well. Any company meeting I have, when there's one translator and everyone else is waiting, people get impatient. They really, really do. So I think that's a real fun way to do it. But that means that languages matter in tabletop RPGs. So I don't want to wipe them out. So with that thought process, I think we have to give them languages. And then maybe we give them telepathy as part of their class. So because they're smart, I'm going to say, I don't think there's a language in Shadowdark that I really see being the most important language. So let's go to the table of contents. Languages are in here. They have like a whole section. There we go. So these are their languages. Common, Dwarven, Elvish, Giant, Goblin, Mirran, Orcish, Reptilian, Sylvan, Thanian, Celestial, Diabolic, Draconic, and Primordial. Man, I would love if Psy Knights spoke like Thanian. Like they were mental, like juggernauts of like the beasts. That could be kind of cool. Do these other classes, Diabolic, Primordial, Sylvan, makes sense. It's the witch. It's kind of, either Celestial, Diabolic, Draconic, Primordial, or Sylvan. You only get one because that's what you're part of. Diabolic. This doesn't even have languages. This guy doesn't know shit. He's a barbarian. Doesn't know shit. He knows Diabolic. Okay. I'm going to do Thanian. I love the idea of this. I got an idea. Like Planet of the Apes kind of Thanian. Thanian. How they spell it? Thanian. Thanian. And one other language. Because that lets them pick one then. You're not taking everything away from them, right? So let's get rid of that PDF. So that's our languages. We have our abilities in place. So next is like abilities. The goal is always to fit that table at the bottom. The one that you see here, this table, is always to fit that at the bottom. That 2d6 table. And I feel like I want to re-add that in for sure. So let's go up here. I want to grab... I'm just going to grab all of this. And we're going to cut it. I'm going to bring it down here. And we're going to paste it. And I'm going to move him up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down to here. And I'm going to make it smaller. So let's put... what is this? Cyanite Talents. This should probably be written in a normal font. And then I'll let this determine. I think this should be... Let's just scale it down and then we'll pick a size. I'm going to make it 26. It's usually what I do for this shit. I kind of want to change this to Nodo and put Cyanide Talents down there. 26 is big in Nodo. Holy shit. Maybe 22. And then I think these can probably go away. I'll put them down here for now. And then we need to take the centerpiece, right? And we need to shrink it to the proper size to fit the Cyanite talent. And then these are going to be the problem. Because if I shrink these down, they now lose the feeling that they had up here. I don't know if that's that bad, though. They actually doesn't look that bad. This can probably go here. Right? Like so. Let me center this. Center. Center. I kind of dig that. I think we just do the same. I think we just do the same fucking thing. I just cut and paste something, didn't matter. Cut and paste this. Let's just center it again. We're just gonna flip it vertical. Sometimes the simple answers are the best answers. I kind of want it. Like, how did I do it up there? I think it needs to come down a little bit. That seems too big. I think the edges need to be like that. Right? Do we keep these? I kind of dig this. This little blur at the end. Let's paste it. Let's line it up. And let's flip it. And let's just drag it across. Let's see if we can't get it to line up the same. That looks good to me. So now we're going to add a table. Because I want it down there because I find that I fill out the table at the bottom when I'm designing these classes here. These classes. I find that I fill out this table below while I'm writing. So like as I'm doing design work, I almost always fill this out. So we're going to do table. You know, I think technically, I think it's table. Yeah, so these are the tables, table chart. And we want no heading, and we want, I think they do black. Yeah, they just do black lines, no edges. All right, we'll duplicate it for this one and add our own style to it. So black. We only need 2. This is perfect. How many? I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to need one more row. Can I not? Weird. I don't like that. That didn't work at all. Let's just clear this and put table. Maybe it's chart. Ah, here we go. Here we go. I was like, I know I can fucking make these. So we need to. We want no edges at all. So this needs to be transparent. Boom. All right. And then that banner at the top also doesn't need to be black. So let's delete this. Let's add rows. Oh, no, that's black. Let's go to here. Let's add rows. Add row. Add row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if we, I'm just going to delete this one and make a new one. I don't want this top part. We don't need it. We're just going to delete it. Delete this row. 1. And I like to shrink these all down to like minimum. Absolute minimum. And then we'll, once we put fonts in and stuff, we'll be able to fucking change it one more time. Oh, I should lock. I don't think I locked my guides. Oh, they're locked. Okay, good. So now we'll take this, bring it down, and then we need to make it fit across to here. I kind of want it equal to those. Like so. And then we need to shrink this thing all the way down. Why can't I shrink this more? 0 spacing, 0 table. How many columns do we have? 1. It's hard to see how many columns we have. I'm just gonna type. So this would be 2d6, and then this would be, I think they call 2 duplicate equal reroll. 2 duplicate. 2 duplicate. Would it be 2 duplicates? Is that what she's saying here? I'm looking at the cheat sheet. Oh, 2 duplicates. Okay, so it's effect that goes next. Okay. So tab, effect, tab. Okay, so this is the column that I knew we had one. I knew we had one. Delete column. All right. So we want all of this row. We want this to go size rows to content. Size columns to content. And then we're just going to re-expand this over. Line it up off that. And then 2d6, I think she spaces it off a little bit. She does. I think she centers it within that column. So we're going to do that and center it. And then we're going to go 2. I think it goes 2, 3 to 6. Yeah, 2, 3 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 11. And then we do need one more row. Add a row below. And then this is 12. Right? And see, now, like, this is better. But I want this smaller, man. I want these to be, like, butt fucking close. Because the goal when you write these is to make them fit in here really, really tight. So you can put it as far to the bottom of the page as you can with a design. I think these should be bold. Is this a Nodo? It's not. Fuck. Nodo sans. Change all. And I think I want this entire column. Oh, you can't do it that way? I think I have to manually grab them in this one. I like when this stuff's bold. And this effect is bold. And I want this to be centered. She only bolds the top row. I like the numbers bolded. So effect, and then 2 duplicates. I'll just put 2 duplicate equals, and then we'll fill that out later. Hey, what's up, buddy? Doing a side night. Work on this till about 6:30 today, and then I'm gonna head out. How you doing, man? Did you play 2nd edition, Nick? Do you remember this old thing? Yeah, I'll share it. This is the old 2nd edition. This is AD&D Psionics. And there's some crazy cool shit in here. But man, was it convoluted. But I really like some of the stuff that's in it. Really like it. Also, can we talk about how much space they put between all of their fucking stat stuff? Like, how do they have the fucking space to put this much line spacing, padding between, like, weapons, armor, hit points, and their classes, dude? How did they do it? It's so large. Not so much in the core book, but in all of the scrolls. They're huge, man. And this has got to be what? Font size 12? Maybe 10? What do you think the font size is? It's got to be 10 in there, right? 10 or 12? God, man, it's just so wild to me that she has so much padding between those. Like, I couldn't imagine doing that. This has got to be. She didn't know how to shrink it below a line. No shit. I just feel like it's huge, though. Like, really, really large. Like, that gap is big. I put them together. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a stylistic choice. It's cool. It's stylized. I was just surprised. Yeah, 12. Yeah. Yeah, the cyanide is based on the idea of Cable, old psionics and games, and Psylocke is what I'm aiming for. So the first ability that I have from them was mental defense. Because I wanted it to feel like you still had the old mental defenses. So this is, you have advantage on con and int when resisting psionics. Yes, I'm spelling with a Y because I've always appreciated it. I know people may not like it, but I don't care. We're going to copy this. Boom. Copy, paste. All right. So as mental defenses, I'm going to do learning psi powers. I probably should do, would you do manifesting first or learning? Let's look at wizard. I definitely want to make this a little different than regular spellcasting, but I like her verbiage for it. So they give their abilities and then they do their spell casting after. For wizard, it is learning spells, and then spell casting. So I'm going to do the learning powers first. Fact. You got it. Did you see the art for it? It's the old Psylocke in armor. That was my art for the thumbnail. Not even fucking around, man. Not even fucking around. Learning psi powers. So right now, I have, you can permanently learn a psi power from another psionic mind by training with them for a day and succeeding in a DC 15 intelligence check. If you fail, you take 2d6 points of damage and can't learn that power from the subject. Psi powers you learn in this way don't count towards your known psi powers. Kind of cool. I think critical failure, you take double, or mishap. I like the mishap idea as well. So let's copy this. I love that you don't learn it from books. I love that you have to learn it from another psionic. That gives your GM, like, something cool to play with when they are writing stuff for you. We're going to see if we can't make it a little tighter verbiage. A little tighter verbiage. Not a lot. Just a touch. Because this is bulky. There's a lot of words. They are a D6 per level. D6 per level. And I'm going to have a mishap table. Feedback table is probably what I'm going to call it. Make a note down here, actually, for myself. Then I'm going to call it feedback. Cut. Bold. Feedback table. These are going to be mishaps for learning or using psi powers. Like your brain bursts, your eyeballs explode, your ears bleed, you go blind, disadvantage on all intellect for a day or something like that. Just some fun shit. So what I don't like is that learning psi powers doesn't fit in this area. I need to shave 2 lines. 2 fucking lines. That's a lot. Let's move it over here for a minute. You can permanently learn a psi power from another psychic's mind. Let's cut the bi out. It's just less flowery here, right? Less flowery words is the goal when you're writing this stuff. And it'll be should be train with them for 1 day. I'm going to do this easier. It should be int DC 15. Int DC 15, all one. Train with them for 1 day. How did they do verbiage on this? Spellcasting, 3 tiers. Intellect, 15. They do it at the end. Man, I really like when the roles are up front, so that when you read across, you just know what it is for powers. But I think when you're explaining an ability, it's nice having it at the end because you're making them read it all. Train them for 1 day. And roll. And make a DC 15 intelligence check. They write theirs out. Man, I really don't like writing out that stuff. I really like changing it. I'm just going to put on failure. Failure. You take 2d6 damage. Maybe instead it should be a d6 damage per level of the power. What's up, Raven? Maybe it should be d6 damage per level of the power. 1d6. Or I'm fine with 2d6. Because you get a d6 a level, right? And by 4th level, if you go to learn a 4th level power, you could make or break kill yourself. And I think that is entertaining. Or what if it was a D4 for a power level equal to, or a D6 for a power level higher than you? Correct me if I'm wrong, and Nick, you might know this. Spellcasting, there are known spells by your spell tier, but there is nothing stopping you from learning a spell above your tier, correct? Like as a wizard, if you grab a scroll that's tier 4 and you're tier 1, you can still risk learning that spell. I'm pretty fucking sure. I feel like that's correct. I'm going to say you take 1d6 per tier of psi power. I'm going to do that. 1d6 per tier of psi power. I like that a lot. Per tier of psi power. That's what I thought. And you can't learn that power from the subject ever. And ever again. From the subject. Psi powers you learn this way don't count. Should I tell them they don't count against your powers known? It should, yeah. Psi powers you learn in this way don't count towards. Don't count against. Don't count against. They said toward. I think against makes more sense. Against your known psi powers. Now, that's on this side. I might have to put learning powers next. And we'll have to put something else over here. It takes too much fucking space. Right? So we're going to put it up here. And then we're going to do another power here. So the other one I have, that's learning psi powers. And I have power manifesting. I want that to be here. I think power manifesting goes here. So bold, power manifesting, done. This one says you can manifest powers you know. You know 2 tier 1 psi powers of your choice from the Psy psi power list. Each time you gain a level, you choose a new Psy power. I'll just say you choose a new psi power to learn according to the Psy psi power tips. Okay, that's too many repetitions of the same fucking thing. I don't know what my drunk ass was doing when I wrote that. So let's not do it that way. Let's change this bitch up. So it should be, you can permanently learn a psi power from the list. You can permanently learn a psi power from the list. I'm going to say you learn. I'm going to say you learn. Now, it shouldn't be learn. This would be manifest. I did the wrong one. I had the wrong thing highlighted over here. I don't like my verbiage on this at all. You can manifest psi powers you know. You gain them based on the Psy Knight powers table below. Easy. I don't need to explain anything else than that. That's just manifesting. You can manifest power. Okay, that makes sense. You manifest 2 new powers. Yeah, I just put... Well, so they put a spell chart for all their stuff. So, like, if you go back through and you look at wizard class, this is your spells known. Every one of them uses a chart. And they go up by 1 per tier. What if the Psy Knight doesn't have a table? What if the Psy Knight only begins with 2 powers? And one of the roles on the table is a manifestation? Or what if we pull a 2nd edition and we categorize Psy Knight powers by type? Like psionic, like what do we have in here? We just read them off, but let's go back into it really quick here. Let's take a look. What if we did like psychoportive and we did what is it? Psychoportive. Let's go all the way back here. I think they listed them all. I want to go back to all of them. We obviously wouldn't do this fucking mini because it's fucking stupid. That is true. I do think, Nick, that the spells known is the most ridiculously tough things to teach someone. And it really got difficult when we started doing sorcerers. 3.5 sorcerers screwed up the entire concept of how we learn a TTRPG. I don't disagree with you. I just don't want them getting 2 powers a level. That's a lot of fucking powers for a knight. I might do start with 2 and gain 1 a level. Start with 2, manifest, learn a new power once per level. Or I might put it in the chart. Because that's the other thing we got to decide here. Like, I like the entertaining charts. I don't like the spell chart for the wizard. Like, we pull the wizard up. This is my least favorite. I love casters, but I don't like this. Make one random magical item type, one random magic item of type you choose. That's awesome. I actually like that. The +2 intelligence stat or +1 to wizard casting checks is okay. I guess there are varieties in their spells. Gain an advantage on casting 1 spell you know. That's okay. Learn 1 additional wizard spell of anything you know. This is the one I don't get. No, yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you. I don't understand, why do we have known, but then again on 10 to 11 we gain another one? Like, what? And we can learn from scrolls. Like, what is the purpose of that? To me, that design element needs to be, like, that level of element needs to be something that feels better than another spell. You know what I'm saying? Like, just giving me another spell, I don't know, man. I would rather have gotten something where, like, once per day you can double the range of effect or damage. Something like that would have been cooler. And I love the defenses from AD&D. I think there should be advantage on con or intelligence. I think it should be choose. Mental defense. Should it be con? Why did I do con? Because it's body and mind. I think it should be trained defense. Or id? Ego? Is id body? Hold on here. Which one's body? I don't remember in AD&D which one was body. Psychokinesis is a science. Metabolism. Psychometabolism is body and animal affinity. Psychoportation is movement. Psychoportive devotions. What else do we have here? Try to look and see if there's anything else. These are just meta psionics. Those are like appraise and weird things. Okay. Psionic campaign. Look what I got. Look what I'm gonna do. Monsters. Readings. Let's go back to the beginning of this book. I want to see the table of contents. Introduction. What's changed? The complete psionics. Requirements. All the old racial level limits, man. I forgot about that shit. Psionic primer. PSP. Psionic strength points. I almost did point based for this. I almost did point base. I almost gave them a mental stat. But I didn't know if that would break the Shadowdark simple mechanics too much. If this would be considered advanced class, and maybe then we could add psi points. Like, I really thought about it. Really did. I really kind of want to. Wild talents. Then people got to do math. I fuck it up all the time. Myself included. Psychic contest. This is what I was thinking of. I might make this psionic contest. That's something I'm interested in. Let's hold on here. I'm gonna move this over. Close this. I'm gonna go make a note down here to maybe do psychic contest. Psychic contest. Table. When 2 psionic characters battle. I have an idea for this that I've been wanting to do since I was a kid. Oops, why is this not changing? Contest. There we go. I agree with power manifesting. There's a difference between powers you manifest. Okay, you know what? We need to clear some stuff. This should be starting powers. Starting mental psionic start, psionic generation, psionic, the fuck do we name it? What would we consider your starting powers, your psi powers? I don't want to put starting psi powers. It doesn't feel stylish. You know what I mean? I don't like starting as a word, but I feel like she uses it a lot. It might be learning spells. So her learning spells is you permanently learn a wizard spell in the form of a scroll by studying it for 1 day. Succeed on a 15 intelligence check. Whether you succeed or fail, you expend the spell scroll. Spells you learn this way don't count towards your known spells. Spell casting. You can cast wizard spells you know. Manifesting. That's what I'm just going to call it. Manifesting. I think that's the proper word. So just, I'm going to get rid of power manifesting, and I'm just going to put manifesting. You can manifest psi powers you know. You gain, I say you start with 2 powers and gain 1 per level. Now, do we tell them that there's no max? Like, we might have to put that in there because they're not used to it. But I feel like in learning psi powers, it tells you that they don't count against your max when you learn them another way. So manifesting. Do I do a using powers? I'll probably just do this. Producing powers. Using powers. Maybe manifesting. Manifesting would be learning them. You can manifest powers you know. You start with 2 powers and gain 1 per level. When manifesting, roll with int. Roll with int. Is that right? Roll with int. Roll when manifesting. Roll with int. I feel like I need more than that too. Maybe not. You can manifest psi powers you know. You start with 2 powers and gain 1 per level. When manifesting, roll with int against DC 10 plus psi power tier level. Oh, tier. Done. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. That kind of gives them the idea of what they should be doing. I hate this big fucking space. Innate powers and develop powers? Why would you break it up like that, though? That would be one more block. Oh, you're saying, like, do innate powers, you start with 2 powers, gain 1 per level. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. And then I would say, yeah, I like that. That's a really smart call. Innate powers, because then we can cut this down. So we can just cut that. Place that here. Unbold it, right? Boom. You start with 2 powers and gain 1 per level. And then we can put psi powers next. So if we go like this, and go like that, and then we put this here. So I think the way this needs to go is, why is there... Like this will go up here, actually. You know what I'm saying? And then do this one here. Let's get rid of this fucking return line. So now you have 2 sections. You have your innate powers. You start with 2 powers and gain 1 per level. And then developing powers. I think not developing. I think it needs to be learned. Learning psi powers. Wouldn't it be? Instead of saying develop powers. Because if you say developed psi powers, you can permanently learn. Yeah, I guess you could do it that way. You're not really learning it. You are training in it. It's developing psi powers. Yeah, I'll keep that wording for now. We'll see if I change it later. You can permanently learn a psi power from another psionic's mind. This should be apostrophe, right? No, it's not. I did it right. Now manifesting can go under this, right? And that gives us some space. I don't really love this big fucking return here, to be honest. I kind of just... I may adjust this line depth. Right. Yeah. No, I don't. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm going to have random so. Funny you say that. Funny you say that. In Knave, I've talked about this book a lot. I truly think every GM needs this thing in their toolkit. I really, really mean that. I don't say that because I'm sponsored or I think Ben's some god, but I think this thin book has more in it to free you from the static, constant grind of making the same shit constantly. There is so many sparks of genius and ideas in here that you should be using this in your games. Okay? 1. 2, random spells. The way they do random spells in here We talked about this once on the show. But there is random spells in here that are really dope. And the way they work is he's got spells made with a D100 spell list. I think it's 100. It might be more. But then he has generating new spells. And I am so tempted to take this idea of generating new spells and instead of making a fuck ton of powers, that you just roll new psionic powers. I'm really tempted. Because I feel like if I were to take AD&D, and I'm making this a bold class, and you were to break it down, you could make a couple of pages of tables to roll your own powers, instead of having page upon page upon page of powers that exist already. I just don't know if players would enjoy that or if it's too much work. Because in here, the way it works when you roll a new spell, actually, let me just pull it up in here. Because I feel like we should look at it as an option before I develop anything else. We should be looking at if this is a viable option for powers. Knave 2, and pages. All right, so let's close the book. We'll go to spells, generating spells. We talked about this on air before, but let's look at it. What if we generated spells similar to this? And we broke down the traditional style of spell in, let's say, Shadowdark, right? And if we go to wizard spells, yeah, I would have a couple basic options, but like not more than like a page or two, man. Just so they can use it to understand, and then they can build more. You know what I'm saying? So if you go to spells in here, hold on, I'm scrolling here. So here's magic. So you get one spell of casting, one page of how to cast, one about critical success and critical failures, right? We can do that. We'll make our own psi mishap tables. They have psi mishap tables tier 1 through 2, 3, and 4, right? And then tier 5s, which I love. They have scrolls and wands. And then they have this. So we know that there are these 5 real options. There's more than that if you ask me though. But you have tier, range, duration. We don't really, overlapping effects is a different thing. Focus is 4, right? And then if you actually go into a spell, and I think wizard spells are probably a better example if we go to alarm, it is really just tier, duration, range. And if it is a bonus ability or it is damage. And the ones that become difficult to build for players and for GMs is not the damage, because you can give a chart for damage. It's when you get into the nitty-gritty of non-damage stuff. Forms, I think is what he calls them. So, you know, if you do the wizard's name and you do a quality and you do an effect, and like if the effect is like corroding, that's damage. But if an effect is regeneration, or if it's piercing, you really got to figure out how you're going to do that. And how many bonuses they get. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to break down. And he's not giving damages. You're just making shit up and they work. And it's a spell. And unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Shadowdark has numbers that you have to play with when you're designing this stuff. Because if you do alarm, it's a tier 1, it'd be, for us, it'd be like tier 1 Cyanite, duration 1 day, range close. They're not going to know how to rake this out. They're not going to know how to do one-touched object, such as a door threshold, setting a magical alarm on it, or if any creature you do not designate while casting the spell touches or crosses a path the object the magical bell sounds. They're not going to know how to do that. And I also don't want psionics to be magic. I want psionics to be psionics. I want psionics to be psionics. And that brings me to, like, do I make a bunch of powers? Or do I make a system of affecting mind, body, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, and whatever my travel version would be? If I just do like 5 disciplines without making schools or anything like that, making them a chart for 5 disciplines. I'm looking down because I'm thinking 5 disciplines, and you would roll tier, discipline, type of effect, attack or damage, attack or effect. And if it is self, distanced, and then you could bracket tables so that when you're doing rolls, it affects what part of the table you roll on. What I mean by that is, like, we talked about an adventure the other day. And when you're in a certain area in that adventure, instead of just rolling a full D10, you roll a D4 plus 2, I think is what it was, or 4, to make sure you're hitting 4 and up or 5 and up, because those first ones were just hunting. And they wanted actual things to happen to you, so you rolled the other ones. You could do something similar, gating off sections of it. So if it's like tier 1 and you roll, your damage is never going to be higher than X. And that damage you do determines if it's ranged or touch, or what the range is. It'd just be a chart across. Tier 1, blah. Tier 2, blah. And then your defenses and stuff like that would just have their own, not defenses, your disciplines would just have their own effects built into them. I feel like that could be a really entertaining class to play instead of just another fucking spellcaster. You would pre-roll these, though, for clarity. You wouldn't roll these up every time. You would make a new one when you level. Or you would learn one from another psionic. Boy, I might have just made this a bigger project if I do this. But it might be dope. Ooh. This is what happens when you do design work, everybody. You get deep into the process and your brain goes, you know what you could do? Hear me out. Hear me out. Lonely Island style. Hear me out. For the people who've played Shadowdark in here, do you like the idea of a psi-based character not having just psi spells, like just a new flavor? Do you prefer them having rollable abilities? Or do I make tier 1 through 5 abilities and then make rollable tables and just make a very large splat book with new gear and everything else. Because if I was to do that, if we add a page, let's grab this. Let's go here. Let's delete these. I'm going to grab all of this. And I'm going to paste it here. And we're going to fill this with ideas. What if, we're just going to brainstorm right now. We're going to brainstorm. Hold on here. Brainstorm. Okay. Also, that's the name of a power. So I love the idea of feedback tables where mishaps from learning or using psychic powers, right? And then I'll probably note they would be tiered like casters, right? That's the game plan, because that's, you don't want to change it too much. I love the idea of psychic contest when a psionic character, when this should say two psionic characters battle. There is a clash of energy. And then I think when you do that, it is, I think it does extra damage. I think extra damage for the winner. I think you do both. Maybe I need an idea quickly because session starts in 50 minutes and I don't have them ready for GM approval. Yeah. Well, your random table would have to be so good that they don't break. Your damage would have to be within rank, and you would have to have rules put in place for non-damage based powers, where that when you're rolling, you're just adding building blocks together. Honestly, a generator would be the best, like a digital generator, but I think you just have a page per discipline. I don't think table has to be that big, man. So I like this. Obviously, we need psionic gear. I'm saying we need to put that extra eye in there. Psionic gear. New gems, weapons, and ways to manifest powers into them. I think that'd be cool. I also think the idea of manifestation tables, roll new powers that you can manifest. Yeah, I'm getting to that right now, actually. So I think, for me, I cut this and paste it. I'm going to take this all the way across and line it up to here. I think, to me, the way this would work, and if we look at Knave as just a rough reference point, like this is too much. This is way too much, right? This is, I mean, it's dope, but we don't need it. I don't want quite this much. The way he did it was element form, the quality form, that kind of thing. Like quality, elemental form, the quality, elemental, quality effect form. It's cool, but he doesn't have his damage in here, though. Example, if a 10 was rolled, the formula would be names, quality, element, form. Replacing the words with random table results to generate Astuin's iridescent tears circle. The player adjusts this to Asarune's iridescent circle of tears and suggests that this creates a shimmering circle on the ground that causes everyone within it to begin to weep uncontrollably. The GM agrees and clarifies that the circle is int times 10 wide and that the creatures within it must pass a whiz check each round or take a -5 penalty. Like, so here's the problem that's missing. This is a lot of like back and forth development. And this is what you were talking about. We're like, well, what if I don't have time to build this? The damage is easy. Exactly. I think tier level and effect. And some disciplines don't have damaging powers. Like, if we go back and look at this, it's a reference again, because it's probably the more thorough version. When you get into the fucking abilities, right? Clairsentience doesn't really have damaging powers. It has sciences behind it that are like clairaudience, clairvoyance, object reading, precognition, that kind of stuff. Those aren't damaging. Those are static abilities that do things that are not damaging. What if... Oh, this is too complex. What if... and bases damage on effects level. Correct. Which I think was taken from multiple sources, but mostly matches the Nameless Grimoire. Yeah. Correct. What if... I'm running through this in my head right now. What if it was tier, I'm getting all the abilities in. It would have to be tier, discipline. Oops. Come on, you piece of shit. Discipline. Duration. Does duration in Shadowdark and range is the other one? Range. And then it would have to be effect. And this would be damage slash utility. Or damage slash buff. Debuff. Damage, buff, debuff, utility. I would say that's the normal, like, what that paragraph that you see at the bottom of a spell here. You're basically determining the tier level, the duration, there's only 3 things in really. It can be, it's either self, near, close, far, or double near. I don't think there's a double near spell. I think there's only double close, right? Is that right? Hold on here. Let me look at something. Double near. There's double near, not double close. Rarely is something just 10 foot, but it does happen. Some of the AoE powers are that way, right? I think there's a double close or 2 in here. Like I thought Burning Hands was. Maybe not. Yeah, no, there's close nears. Far. Close, near, far, self. That's it. That's all we would do. And then your durations would be instant. I see 10 rounds, instant. 10 rounds, instant. 5 rounds. And then there's the longer time frame ones. Focus is a very common one, which I think a lot of your powers is a psychic. A Psy Knight would be focus. And there are some ones that are like a minute or 10 minutes. 1 hour of real time. That was an easy one to do. I don't think the cyanide can generate light, though. Maybe pyrokinesis will get a light ability. So, like, if I go back down here now, and we do, I'm going to bold it, we do tier. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Right? But then we got discipline. How many disciplines do we want? How many do I want? I know we're going to have... I really wanted to simplify it more than the categories they had them in. I really wanted, like, mind, body... Mind, body, telekinesis, psychokinesis, psychokinesis. What is it called? Was it teleportation? Kinesis? The fuck was it? They called it something weird. Psychokinetics. Right? Psychokinetic devotions. Psychometabolism would be body. Metabolic. Psychometabolic would be body. If we wanted to use the same terms. Psychoportation. That's what it was called. Psycho Crusher. Psycho Portation. That would be like Misty Step, teleportation, teleporting an object to you, things like that. Yeah, something like exactly Graven, something like Misty Step. Similar concept, like phasing to near, shit like that really quick. They're gonna have less abilities. So I think that's, maybe we add another discipline, but those are the ones that are in my head right now. I could rename mind, body, and all that kind of stuff, but those are the ones in my brain. Off the bat. And then we need range. And we know ranges are self, close, near, double near, and far. Right? And then we have duration. And what we saw is focus, instant, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute. I feel like there were some round ones in here. Might be wrong. I feel like there were some that lasted rounds. Yeah, rounds. Those are actually 5 rounds, 10 rounds. That's what it is. This should be rounds. This should be rounds. It should be 5 rounds, 10 rounds, and we can always change this. In 10 minutes. See if there's any else in here. I'm just gonna bop through these. Most are focused though, man, which is my favorite. My favorite is those. And we could say all their powers are focus because they're mental. We could say the only type of duration is focus for them. And that may not be a bad idea. It may not be a bad idea. Ditch all the duration powers and make them focus powers only. I feel like that's a pretty solid chop a fucking table down for duration. And that's the difference kind of between magic and psionics. You don't have psionic abilities that are just lasting forever, you know what I'm saying? Make a talent to allow a second focus. Oh. Like you can keep 2 powers up, like one on self, one on someone else. One of mind, one of body, like that kind of thing. That could be really cool. I don't want these. Those are gone. It's focus only. I really like the idea of being focus only. And then you're right. You could have a talent. I think that's got to be either 2 or 12, don't you? Gain a second focus. Focus. Psi power. Gain a second focus. Maintain 2 different disciplines. 2 separate focus in. How do I want to gain a second focus? And the goal is you're telling them they have to be 2 different disciplines. 3 or 5 or 2, yeah, something like that. I'm just writing it right now. Gain a second focus. And it should be like holding mental one and holding a body one. It should be 2 focuses that you roll. 1 of mind, 1 of body. Do we just make it really simple? The whole concept is just mind and body. What if your mind and body powers are rolled on a table, and every other type of power is written because it's a utility, cutting out the problem of writing utility text? You can maintain 2. You can maintain 2 focus, 2 foci. You can maintain 2 focus. Discrete disciplines. Yeah, you can maintain focus on 2 disciplines. You can maintain focus on 2 powers, or 2 discipline powers. 2 different. 2. You can maintain focus on 2 different discipline powers. I'm going to word it that way for now. I don't think it should be 3 to 6. I think you should only get this once, right? So I'll just say boom, right? And we'll, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And we'll delete this out. Why is this not? That's the wrong size. This should be 10. Because I feel like the fonts in her classes are smaller. Well, I guess they're not. They're the same size. So we'll go here to here, and we'll do 12. Ooh. Well, no, it'll work, because I have room now. There we go. You can maintain focus on 2 different discipline powers. I don't think you can get this again. I prefer what? 3 to 5 or 3 to 6? Oh, really? Yeah, but that's how her power... her talent tables are all 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not going to break her format for that shit. You know what I mean? I get you. I know what you're saying. And I think I would weight that depending on what 3 to 6 and 7 to 9 are. Personally. If I have something that's a little too powerful in one of categories, They aren't 0? No, she doesn't. It's 3 to 6. I'm looking at it right now. See? 2, 3 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 11, 12. That's on the night. I don't know of any one of them that has 3 to 6. Oh, I guess she does change them. You are correct. She weights them. You are correct. Okay, good to know. I never noticed that before. I thought they were all the same. Are they different in this too? 3 to 6. They're mostly 3 to 6. Yeah, they're almost all 3 to 6 though. I mean, they do change them, but 3 to 6, 3 to 6. Let's go back to classes. Three to 6, 3 to 6. Looks like they're all 3 to 6, but that one really. There's a 3 to 5 for backstab. Well, I'll reweight them based on how powerful things are. This should only be once, though. I noticed in her new stuff next to effect, 2 duplicate equals extra reroll. It is the most balanced, but some things you want weighted more because you don't want them to get that power as easily. We'll have to figure out what we want duplicate to be. I don't know yet. We still got an area we can put here, and I think disciplines are going to go here. That's going to talk about what you get, how you use it or something. I haven't decided yet. Something will go there. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. All right, so back to what we were looking at here. Let me get rid of this. So I like the idea of focus. Do we name these something spicy? Do we make them like psychometabolism and telepathy? I like dupes for some things. If it's an ability, I like them getting an extra use of the ability and shit like that. It really just depends on the class design. There are times where I like them being able to get it multiple times. Like, for example, a wizard being able to get that bonus to a spell of choice. That's pretty cool, being able to get it more than once. I just think when she started in her later design work, I've noticed that this becomes kind of like the basis for how your powers work. You'll see like 2 duplicates equal +1 use today for this one, right? And then I like when in other ones it's different. Like her effect here, there is nothing. Right? Warlock doesn't get anything special there. But if you go up to, let's say, the Curse Scroll 2, because that's 1, this is 2. She's like dupe equals reroll. This one is dupe equals extra use per day. And then this one is dupe equals reroll. So I love when they do that. It's a really nice way to kind of teach your person, like, hey, look, there's no triple stacking your fucking damages and shit. But I want this to be, I like this idea of the table breakdown. I think it's all focus. And I think the discipline of mind, body, telekinesis, psychokinesis, psychoportation. And then I think here we got to put some other fun psycho somethings. Let's go back here and look. I think psychometabolism is the only one I don't love. I don't love this. I'm going to put this in brackets. It's okay. I don't like it. Right? And then the mind. All I hear in my head right now is M. Bison saying, Psycho Crusher! See, like, this is the one. Clairsentience. think clairsentience should be its own thing. Telepathic attacks. Oh. Any other thing I can think of here? We're not going to go this detail. I'm just looking at names right now, like the titles of words and the disciplines and shit like that, if I like any of them. Yeah, so what also brings me to mind is there should be some powers, set powers, right? I'm going to put that in bold just to remind myself. There should be things like telepathy, clairvoyance, what was it? Clairsentience? Was that the other one? I think these are going to be set abilities. Telepathy. Let's go back here. I'm just looking at the disciplines. Psychokinesis is just moving all the stuff, right? Detonate. Yeah, I love psychokinesis. That's like the attack stuff. I really like psychokinesis. So instead of telekinesis, it's going to be psycho. It should be E, I think. Kinesis, right? Isn't it E? Fucking moron. Oh, K-I-N-E. K-I-N-E. K-I. N-E. Psychoportation is going to be one word. Psychokinesis, we're going to keep that. And then we're going to put pyrokinesis. Right? Pyrokinesis? Maybe. I love the idea of them being able to make fire from the body. Psychometabolism is one word. And then I think this one is the one where I don't know if I have a brain state that I would like to use. Mind is usually psycho, but I don't really know what to put with it. But anyway, what I was looking for was clairvoyance and clairsentience. That's what I wanted to know. Clairsentience. Object reading, precognition, stuff like that. Clairsentience. Psychosis. So, clairvoyance. Psychosis for mental? Is that what you're saying? Clairsentience. I thought clairvoyance had its own. Maybe I'm wrong. Did clairvoyance not have its own? Maybe I missed it. Hold on here. I'm just panning through it again. Psychoportation's fucking cool. Maybe. I'm not opposed to it. Metapsionics. I thought clairvoyance and clairsentience had its own. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, I like psychosis. That's not bad. We'll just put it there for now, right? Mind, body. And then these are set powers. Telepathy, clairvoyance, clairsentience, and meta. What's it called? Metascience? Metapsionics? I don't like that word. We might be able to do it. These are set powers. And not rolled on. Think of them like trained abilities. So I'm going to leave that because I think that's a really good idea. And I think we do the manifest. And I think these are the ones you create. And I think these are the ones you break down into tables. And when you gain new powers, I think these are the ones you gain. Right? This is stuff you gain. And these are the ones you roll. Psychoscience? Ooh. Yes. Consistency, baby. So I like that. This is kind of my ideas for stuff. And oh, and then obviously we're going to bring this over here. We're also going to need monsters. We're going to need psi monsters. Right? And this is going to be psionic monsters. God damn it. Psionic monsters that psionic monster types and abilities. Right? I think that's important. And I would like to also, if I'm like really fucking filling this bitch up, like just all in, right? I also think you need major NPCs, right? And these should be named psychic that you can train with or fight. A little bit of Highlander mentality. This is my overall style. This is what I think is a great idea for building something different. I think this could be like a 12-page doc by the time you're done. I think you keep this black and white layout, and I might just bop that bitch out on here because I like the look of this. I may change the Night Helms to something else. Maybe do some custom art pieces for that. I'll probably change this font up a touch. I love this. This is hot. That's a great fucking font. Wednesday, love it. I like the big letters at the start. We'll probably rewrite this block here. I think the all swords, all shields, 1d6 per level for hit points. You know Thanian, because I want them to be based on beast people. I think that's where it comes from. Like mind and body finally hitting apex point. And then you learn one other language of choice. You're trained to defense. You have advantage on con and intellect when resisting psionics. Only. Magic doesn't do that to you. Because that has that nice bleed where they're not the fucking same. Innate powers, you start with 2 powers, gain 1 per level, flat. And maybe it's going to be innate powers are going to be written out, and they're written. Yeah, that's what I was doing for choice of life. I split them with the colors, right? This I've spread out now into bigger areas, so it's not as on top of itself. But I also did it in, hold on here. Man, it's been a long time since I looked at it. Where is the spider one I did? I made a whole other one. Let me just put spider. And the 8-legged queen, when I was doing page layouts for it, fucking around, seeing what I could do, I was doing the color coding for these. And when you get down into it, like these are all the research pages, right? These are fonts, 66 death, credits, like just fucking around. And then this, I was doing the color coded tables. This is just filled. Just placing it and seeing if I liked how it looked. But I was doing the color coded for where water flows and where it doesn't. I think it works pretty well. So I'll probably do the same thing here. I want to put psionics. I think I'd do the same thing here, but maybe I would color code the different disciplines. Could be kind of cool too. I'll mark down here, as I do love playing with color. I'm gonna put, actually, I'm gonna delete that. Up here, I'm gonna paste it, and then maybe layout, color code sections of the book. Good idea. It's kind of, I do love doing that. I like playing in color more than anything else. These are just pieces that I had that were assets that I found that I can use. I really like them. I'll keep, I'm going to move all of this down. Then I'm just going to delete this. And then I'm going to grab this. Actually, I got to do a little bit more. That, but not that. Let's just cut it. We'll bring it down. We'll paste it. We'll delete shit in the way. This is the font headings. So now we have that in place. This is kind of just like our cheater page. Let's actually take our cheater page and move it here. And then that's pretty fucking cool. The thing we have to decide is if we want to put a power here or something, or if art's just going to go there. And I have a feeling more than likely I'm just going to slap some art there. So like placeholder it, I'll bring this knight up. Right, like actually let's do this. Let's do frame. Let's do see all. Ooh. I kind of dig this. Let's just drop art in here once. Just want to see what photos they have. Now, obviously, we would replace it, but I want to grab something to put here. Right? And you click it, drag that bitch over. Let's zoom it and let's shrink this thing. Oh, can you not shrink it once it's in there? Oh, I see. I was hoping that would look better, but I don't like it. This is too chopped up. I was hoping it wasn't as chopped up as that. I do like this art piece, though. I'm just going to kind of do this. I'm going to go to frames. I'll get custom art for it. Frame. Delete. Frame. All. Anything cool here? Puzzle piece is cool. I like this. This is a great tattered look. Basically, this is pre-made masking, which is fucking great. I mean, I really like it, actually, that it does it. I kind of like these choppy ones. This is cool and kind of fun. Oh, there's so many, guys. Jesus Christ. Oh, this chalice looking one's cool. That's pretty cool. The plus is cool. I like this slice. Okay. I want to adjust the colors on this just because it's a little too drab. Bump the brightness. Bump the contrast. Hit the highlights. Drop the shadows a touch. Bring up the white. Really want some dark black. And make it a little more vibrant. And we'll do this saturation touch. Let's just say that's what we're doing. It doesn't really fucking matter. I would never use art like this, but you get the idea. You can slap a piece in here. Throw it to the back of this. Right? Pretty clean. Whatever art we end up picking there. I wish it was a better art piece, though. I feel like, man, I use these all the time. This one here, it's my favorite, though. It really is. This is my favorite one. I like the tattered look at the bottom. It makes it feel like, whoops, fuck. Go like this. Drop it below this. So we can find another night art. Oops, all. These are all pictures. The graphics look like shit for this. I don't really want these graphics. None of these work. Like, so this, for example, would be kind of cool down here. Instead of that background, I could use that. I actually like this piece. I'm going to put this here for wing-dingy kind of shit. Let's do photos. I'm surprised there's not more art in here. It's all just people, like actual people. I suppose they're not paying for artists to add shit. It's weird to me. Ooh, that's cool looking. Let me do like that. Push this thing back. There, as a sample, right? Pretty clean. I would do a little extra stuff to it, but I do like how it looks. So if you had something like this, you put the night in, make your Psy-Night talents. I feel like you have something pretty awesome in a pretty short amount of time. And then we go through and add this stuff. This is going to be the hard part. This is going to be the hardest thing to fucking add. It really, really is. I want to sit down, hand write some stuff out and sketch some ideas. I'm probably going to have to go through the old AD&D to really kind of nail down the things I like out of it. I do want to bring some of the colors back in like this because I enjoy it. I think you just play with it until you get something fun. I do like this banner. Maybe not these, but I like the black and I like this color. And I really like the drop cap kind of drop letter D. I think that looks good, personally. So I think that's it for today. It's a good start. I'm going to be off tomorrow and Sunday. Tomorrow, though, we're all filled up. Reminder to everybody who's here. If you love this stuff, you love the shows that we do that are live, Living ETHUANTIA is now up and running, and you can sign up to play. We use our Streamloot cards to bring people into playing the game. Streamloot cards allow you to survive just like they do on our fucking shows, if you've been here for any of our shows. But I have Living ETHUANTIA versions. It's kind of like paying for your table to come play it like you would at a convention. I'm the GM right now. We have some other talented GMs at EFP that I kind of want to bring on board to do stuff. But I got to make sure that ETHUANTIA is where I want it before I have everybody else running it. It's like letting go of your baby, right? And before the last show or the show before, I went over the cards, but I will show them here again before we close out for the night. They are the ability for you to get, like, if you collect 4 glyphs, you get a treasure chest and things like that. That's really fun. I feel like you get to survive based on the cards. And if you're going to pay for a table, and I'm doing the time of putting together an adventure for you, I also want you to get something fun. So you get like extra gear. You already get gears in the game as well. Like yesterday, they found some random bastard sword that was mastercrafted. They turned around and sold it. It allowed the person to buy their witch hunter rifle, that kind of stuff. So it's not like this is the only way to get gear. It's just bonus shit for you. If you have the patches, which you've seen us all have, there are still some available in merch. Those give you a free reroll during the session as long as it's not a demon, which is a 20. You can't reroll demons. You can't push demons. There's no way around it. And then tomorrow we have some stuff going on. So if you're in our Discord, you can find all the stuff to sign up over in the Living ETHUANTIA Dreadfuls. You can read through, get the description for... you can get the quick rules for Dragonbane. You can grab the ETHUANTIA doc, which I keep updating, so make sure you ask for permission to look at the doc. And you make a character and you come play. We have 5 people playing tomorrow. 3 know ETHUANTIA, 2 don't. Cap table's 5, minimum is 3. Cast members come and play. I'm pretty excited, man. Like, I really enjoy running games for people, but it's a time sink. And the only way I can run more of them is if I can write it off for myself is I'm making money. Really, for me, it's just I want to run games. And I want to run games for people and turn them into products in the long haul and stuff like that. Same reason I do streaming. So if you're interested, come check us out. Discord's open. Lots of people in it. New people join all the time. If you are watching this video afterwards, down below, put your comment. Do you have a favorite psionic class or favorite psionic character? I already said mine is Psylocke and Cable from Marvel. Those are 2 of my favorites. But if you have something that's your favorite, put it down below. And if you're interested in seeing more of the Psy Knight, maybe next week we'll dive back in and maybe we can get a good chunk of it done through the course of next week. That's it for me tonight, everybody. Have a great one. And if you are in the game tomorrow, I'll be posting up some stuff for you this evening. But for everybody else, up on these sides, you know the routine. Click the bell, follow the shit, and watch the next video. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. As always, watch, listen, learn, be a better gamer. It's really not that hard. Not everybody.